I came to praise, 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 praise. In love the Lord, my hands I raise, 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 raise. I'm singing all my favorite tunes, 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 tunes. Give me some space for all my moves, 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 moves.
All right, here we go.
Cause it goes up and up and up.
Take it up.
It goes up.
Be ready. Show them what he needs to do. Here we go. Take it.
I throw my hands up in the air sometimes, saying praise God.
Hey.
Let's all praise God.
All right, hey. What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back. We are back. We are back.
Cause we gonna rock
Thank
this
you for tuning in to F3C's Kidzone The Experience. I am with Reverend K.N.E. and this is my PIP. Oh, she's so excited. That's all right. Go ahead. Get your wiki on.
Be ready!
It's the place to be, and as you can see, I've got some Kidzone members with us to do this lesson. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Introduce yourself.
My name is Harlem.
Your name is Harlem. Introduce yourself.
My name is Journey.
All right, Journey. Introduce yourself.
My name is Harmony.
What your name is what?
Harmony.
Harmony. Okay. Introduce yourself.
My name is Lauren.
Okay, Lauren. Introduce
My
yourself.
name is Jordan.
Jordan. Okay. Introduce yourself.
My name is Caleb.
All right, Caleb. As you can see, we're gonna do this lesson this way, okay? So, guys, we are in a new month. So, I know y'all know the structure that every time we do a lesson for the whole month, we talk about one particular topic and we talk about one particular scripture, okay? So now that we're in a new month, we have a new topic. And be ready, what's our new topic?
Humility!
So can I get y'all to shout humility?
Humility!
Oh, no, I need some energy, yeah. Can I get y'all to shout humility?
Ready? Right. Like this. So,
Let me get y'all to shout humility.
humility!
No, y'all gotta say it like y'all mean it. Say humility. That's what I'm talking about. And then our scripture is what?
Ephesians
Okay,
2, no, 4,
okay.
and 2.
Ephesians 4 and 2, that's right. Now, do I dare ask you to quote that
You
scripture?
dare not.
You dare not? Okay. It simply says this. It says, be completely humble and gentle. It says, be patient and be bearing to one another.
That's awesome.
Now, we have a great lesson for you all week. And considering this is April, and we talk about Jesus and stuff because, of course, he went through his crucifixion process and all of that. So there's only one individual that's going to be fitting when we talk about humility, and that is Jesus. Can y'all shout out Jesus?
Jesus!
Can y'all shout out Jesus?
Jesus!
Now, I want y'all to say this. Ephesians
Ephesians
4,
4,
20.
20.
And it says this, and I want y'all to repeat after me. It says this. It says, be completely humble and gentle.
Be completely humble and gentle.
Be patient,
Be patient.
loving one another.
Loving one another.
That's our scripture. So now, we talked about a new topic of the month.
We did.
talked about our scripture.
We did.
It's time for a joke. You got a joke?
I don't.
You don't? You got a joke? You got a joke? Oh, come with it. All right, so it gotta be funny, because if it ain't, we're gonna boo you, okay? Don't look at me. Now, don't look at me. We're not gonna boo you. Don't look at me. Look at the camera right there and tell them my joke.
Okay. What did the penguin say to the icicle?
What did the penguin say to the icicle?
Do you know what it said?
What'd he say? No, we don't know.
It said, it's time for a chili popsicle.
It's time for a chili popsicle. Okay.
It
Okay, no, I don't get that at all. Yeah, I don't get that at all.
icicle and a popsicle.
It's an icicle. You made that up, didn't you?
Yeah.
I know you did. Yeah, so let me tell you how we flow on here. We don't just make a joke. I'm joking. That was a great joke. I'm laughing because I don't get it, but you tried. I give you an effort. So that's what I'm saying. So now, you said you have a joke? Now, is this a made up joke?
No.
Is that a made up joke? Okay, so look at that camera and give me a joke.
So, bee, right?
Uh-huh.
What does it comb its hair with?
What does a bee comb his hair with? I can.
Honeycomb.
Yeah. I knew that was. You got one too? Okay, so get right up here and get in front of that camera. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing.
What?
Okay.
What is a witch's favorite subject?
What's the witch's favorite subject? What is it?
A spelling bee.
A spelling bee. Okay, I get that too. That's good. All right, so that was the great jokes and save my joke. I can save my joke for the next time. So I ain't got to tell my joke. I thank y'all. So guess what? I know we have fun and stuff like this, but Brandie, tell them what the next party is.
Okay.
And I need y'all gonna repeat this.
Y'all ready?
Yes.
The best part of Kidzone is
Praise and worship.
They've been paying attention.
Yes.
So guess what? We're getting ready to go into praise and worship. When we come back from praise and worship, we're gonna go into our lesson. So we will be back right after this. Wave everybody, tell them bye.
Bye.
We'll see you in a minute.
Get up, stand up.
Our eyes have seen your glory and all that you have done, and we believe the story that you are God's own son. You stepped down from the heavens into this world you made, a sacrifice for sinners. There is no higher name above all names. Your name is life. Your name is power. You are our hope in every hour. Your name is light. You break the darkness, and we will tell the world that your name is Jesus. And we will tell the world who's able to forgive. Only Jesus, who is our righteousness. Only Jesus, who opens up our eyes. Only Jesus. There's no one like you. You stand alone. No greater love was ever shown. You are our rescue. Only Jesus. High and exalted upon your throne. No greater name was ever known. You are our refuge. Only Jesus, who saves us from our sin. Only Jesus, who's coming back again. Only Jesus, who holds the keys to life. Only Jesus. There's no one like you. You stand alone. No greater love was ever shown. You are our rescue. Only Jesus. High and exalted upon your throne. No greater name was ever known. You are our refuge. Only Jesus. You are holy. We bring our praise to you. Holy. Our hands we raise to you. Holy. There's no one like you, God. You are holy. We bring our praise to you. Holy. Our hands we raise to you. Holy. There's no one like you, God. There's no one like you. You stand alone. No greater love was ever shown. No other rescue. Only Jesus.
Woo! What's up? What's up? What's up? We are back. We are back. Man, I'm tired.
Yes.
Woo-wee.
That was a lot.
Yeah, that praise and worship was a lot.
It was good, though.
And when I told you before, don't ever do praise and worship in a sweatshirt. You'll pass out. Okay, so Brandie, like we promised, you know, the kids did a great introduction with us. They told those jokes. We're gonna forgive them for the jokes, but they tried, so we're not even gonna harp on the joke. But that was good though.
It was.
So now it is time to get into our lesson. But before we get into our lesson, we talked about being into a new month. We talked about the month of April being the process of Jesus getting accused of something he didn't do, being betrayed, getting denied, and now he's going through his crucifixion process. Okay, so this is the whole month of April. So of course next week, you know, we got Friday coming up, which will be Good Friday, which starts his crucifixion process after he gets arrested. That's why it's called Good Friday, because there are some things that he's done for us on the cross that we're going to get into in the next lesson. So Brandie, we are on a new topic, which is what?
Humility.
Okay, it's humility. She said humility. I never knew humility to have a D in it before, but you know what? It's all right. The way she said, the way she said. You know, maybe she wanted the D instead of the T. I don't know, but it's humility. And our scripture is what?
Ephesians
Okay.
2:4. Let me start over.
Okay, that was right though.
Yep. Ephesians 2:4.
No.
Ephesians 4:2.
There
I
you
was
go.
just trying to make sure you caught it.
Oh, you made sure I
You
caught it.
it.
Okay, well, since you made sure I caught it, why don't you go ahead and tell them what it says?
It says Ephesians 4:2.
Okay, so this is what it says. It says, be completely humble and gentle. Or you can say, be completely humble and gentle. Now I use the B. She made me say. Be completely humble and gentle. It says, be patient and be loving to one another.
Yes.
And so, like I told you before, we're going to get into our lesson. And when I think about humility, I can only really truly think about one God that showed characteristics of humility, and that is Jesus, our total being, okay? So what I want to do is I want to tell you a story about Jesus' humility when he washes the disciples' feet. So truly to understand his whole process. Oh, my thing came up. I'm going to take this off. Yeah, that came up. I'm going to take that off. I'm take that like that. My bad. Okay, so Jesus picked 12 disciples, okay? Jesus walked around and he was teaching and preaching the gospel, and he chose 12 individuals to follow him. They didn't just come, he chose these individuals to follow him. Okay, so now Jesus just gets done teaching a multitude of people. And normally after he teaches, he sits everybody down, he feeds them. We saw him work signs, miracles, and wonders when he turned, what was it? 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread to feed the multitude of over 2,000. Okay, we saw that miracle. When he turned water into wine, we saw that miracle. Now, Jesus knows that it is in the final hour where he has to do what he was called to do, which is come and give himself up for us, just like it was prophesied in the book of Isaiah over 500 years ago. So now, Jesus says, okay, he said, now it's time. So he goes in, and after he gets done teaching, he tells 2 of the disciples, he said, hey, go see this man. He's going to have a venue for us to go in and let him know that we're going to come in and we're going to sit down and we're going to feast. And it's called the Passover. This is a tradition that now is recognized because of what Jesus did. This tradition goes on year after year after year, okay? So it's called the Passover. So now Jesus is sitting down with the disciples and they're eating, and he's preparing them, letting them know that he's getting ready to leave them shortly. But before he does this, he goes through the room and he says, okay, I'm going to wash y'all's feet. Okay, so he goes and he proceeds to grab a towel. He sits down and he starts to wash the disciples' feet. And then he gets to Peter and he says, Peter, I'm going to wash your feet. Peter was like, Master, you're not going to wash my feet. He said, man, this is beneath you. And then Jesus says, Peter, if I don't wash your feet, then you can't eat with me. And he said, because what I need to do is I need to establish something. So Peter was like, oh, okay, well then, Master, wash my hands too. You can wash my feet, my hands, and my head. He said, no. He said, I'm just going to wash your feet. He said, because once I wash your feet, this will show that you are clean. He said, but there is one in here that is unclean. Now, listen to the story. He said, there's one in here that's unclean. So now Jesus proceeds to wash their feet, and then he goes and he starts to talk about ordinances, which is baptism and communion and baptism. Okay. So he breaks the bread and he says, this bread represents my body. He says, as you eat of this bread, you show forth in remembrance of me. And then he picks up the glass of wine. He says, this wine, he said, this represents my blood. And as you drink this wine, do so in remembrance of me. So he sets up the ordinances. He says, but there is still one in here that is unclean. Now he already knew it was Judas, and he washes Judas's feet. This is where the humility comes in. He washes his feet, knowing that Judas is going to betray him. So after the Passover, Judas is walking through the city. He overhears the Sanhedrin army and the religious leaders planning to kill Jesus. So Judas hears them and he says, hey, he said, I hear y'all talking about Jesus. And they said, aren't you one that follows Jesus? He said, oh, no, not me. He says, but I can lead you to him. And they said, okay. They said, well, if you lead us to him, they said, then what we'll do is we'll give you 30 pieces of silver. Now, this is the ironic part to me. They are looking for Jesus. Jesus never hid. He's always done everything in plain sight. They're looking for Jesus, but they didn't know who he was because of the conversation. They was like, if you lead us to him, then they said, we will give you 30 pieces of silver. But then Judas was like, okay, I'll lead you to him. Then they said, well, wait. They said, how are we going to know which one is Jesus?
What?
That's crazy. I know. That's what I'm saying. They're looking for him. But they did not know. They said, how are we going to know which one is Judas? Which one is Jesus? So Judas says, you know what? He says, the one that I go and kiss on the cheek. He said, that's going to be the one that's going to be Jesus. So Jesus meets back with the disciples, and Judas shows up and he says, but before that, Judas also tells the Sanhedrin, he said he already know you guys are coming. Wow. That's what he tells them. He says, Jesus already knows you guys are coming. So they don't know who he is. And he says, they already know you're coming. So now Judas goes back and he says, Master, I'm sorry. I was late, this and that. He didn't even question Judas and ask him where he been. And they get there and Jesus says, you know what? He says, I need to go pray. He said, I need two of you to come with me. So they go to the mountain of Gethsemane. And Jesus says, I just need y'all to watch as I pray. They fell asleep. Jesus said, could you not watch as I pray for 1 hour? So then Judas comes and he comes to Jesus and he says, Master, I'm so sorry. I was late, this and that. And then he kisses Jesus on the cheek. Jesus said, Judas, so you would kiss me? And that's what it was called. He said, so you would kiss me before turning me over? And then Judas was like, Master, what are you talking about? They come and they arrest Jesus, okay? So now, that's the first part of this story. So I'm going to stop right there because the second part, we're going to get into something different, okay? So what you got?
So the funniest thing is this, I just pick random stuff in my Bible to read. And I just listened to this whole story this morning. But what listening to it again and just hearing you talk about it, what gets me the most is sometimes your parents ask you to do things that you don't want to do. Whether it be go wash the dishes, whether it be go give me a glass of water, even though you are around the corner and your parent is right by the sink, right? Whether it's go get the groceries out the car and bring them in the house, right? So there are a lot of times that we get asked to do things that we don't want to do, but it's that humility that gives you that serving spirit that makes you have to be like Christ. So just imagine if you guys did so many things that you don't want to do. Look at what your reward would be. Look at your reward from your parents, your reward from from God, your reward from just being obedient. Where as your parents, grandparents, whoever you live with know that there are some things you just don't want to do just because you're kids and that's just what we don't want to do. But imagine if you did something with a kind heart and you did it with right there. That's the ball right there. I know it is, right? With full open heart and with love. Yes. That's better than 30 pieces of silver. I'm sorry, go ahead. But just imagine if you know that your mom just called you downstairs or down the hall or wherever you had to come from to get a water and they're like 2 seconds and 2 feet away from the sink. But yet you get that water anyway with a smile and you say, I love you, here's your water. Do you know what that would do to your parents' heart and just their mind? But what I'm trying to get you to see is there's a lot of stuff that we have to do that we don't want to do, even as an adult. We have to pay the bills. We have to go buy the food. We have to go pay the house for you to live in. We have to go buy the school clothes, buy the Christmas stuff. And we have to do all this stuff. But we do it because we know that that's what we want to do for you. So when you turn it around and you flip it around and you do things for others just because that's what you want to do for everybody, it makes a big difference. So I challenge you to show how you're going to show your humility with your parents and do things that you might not want to do, but you do it with a kind heart.
I like that. That's what the scripture tells us too. I do. I really like that. You got anything else?
No, sir.
You ain't got nothing else? What about the sound of the music?
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Whoop, turn it. By the sound of the music. Kidzone experience. I am Reverend K. My PIP, Partner in Praise, and I'm Dr. D. Dog.